Good morning, Dr. Eaves here at Southwest Brain Performance Centers. Today we're going to be talking about diet, the do's and the don'ts. Very brief overview today. And if you want to go check out our old videos over stress, sleep, Pilates, and breathing. We're going to talk about diet this week, but those are some good videos to go back and refresh your memory on. Because everything's interconnected, everything kind of works together. It's not just one thing that's going to help you, okay? So I want to start off by talking about a new study that came out on the coronavirus. And we're not giving advice on coronavirus because it's just too new, there's not enough information out there. But one study that was an observational study that came out with vitamin D levels and symptom severity and progression of disease. So they found a correlation with if you had higher levels of vitamin D, your disease process was not near as severe. The problem though is it's an observational study, so that doesn't tell you was the vitamin D low when they got the virus, or did the virus deplete the vitamin D? We don't know. So you can't really say. But I just want to start off with that. And vitamin D is great. We get it, all of us get it every day. We go out in the sun. So that's one study. Today we're going to be talking about diet though. So the biggest problem I see with diet and immune function is blood sugar imbalance. Not getting enough fiber, too much alcohol consumption, not enough variety in the diet, low quality proteins, and not enough good fats. So those are the big topics for today. So things that you absolutely need to stay away from are high sugary drinks. So a lot of people drink things like orange juice and apple juice, and they think that it's good because it comes from an apple or an orange. But most of the time it's highly processed, and it really breaks down into sugar very quickly, which drives inflammation. Okay? Another thing you want to stay away from is boxed foods as much as you can. They're typically processed. And processed foods, they deplete what's called antioxidants. Antioxidants are all over our body, and they help dampen inflammation. Okay? Simple carbs is something else you want to stay away from. So like breads, pastas, bagels, donuts, things like that. Things that break down and they break down into sugar very quickly. When you break down things into sugar very quickly, it really spikes our inflammation, and it really spikes our insulin response. So how do you know if you have blood sugar issues? And without getting a test done is when you eat a meal, you should feel no different. You should not have an increase of energy. You should not have less energy. It shouldn't change your mood at all when you eat any meal. Okay? You should not be jittery or shaky before a meal, and you should not be irritable before eating a meal. Those are all signs of blood sugar imbalance. Okay? When you have too much blood sugar, when your blood sugar spikes after you eat a high carb meal, simple carb meal, or a lot of sugar, it really drives inflammation. And inflammation leads to all sorts of problems, especially pain and things like that. But another thing it does is it decreases our gut bacteria diversity. And when you have a decrease in gut bacteria diversity, you will then have a problem with immune modulation, because a lot of your immune system sits in your gut, and it cross-talks with all those gut bacteria that are in your gut. So you really want to have proper functioning gut-brain axis. Okay? When you have a diminished amount of good bacteria, you increase the likelihood of opportunistic infections. So, yeah. And another thing you want to avoid is cooking with processed oils like canola oil and vegetable oils. They oxidize really quickly. Again, alcohol. When you drink alcohol, you dampen the gut bacteria diversity and you increase more inflammation in your body. So we've talked about stress as well. When you are stressed, like in a time like right now, you increase what's called carb-seeking behavior. So you tend to eat those foods that you shouldn't eat. It increases your inflammation. When you have more inflammation, it actually dampens areas in your brain that makes you want to do anything. So it decreases reward-seeking behaviors when you eat crap foods. So we want to stay away from that. And when we do eat bad foods, a lot of times that disrupts our sleep. when we disrupt our sleep, as we've talked in the previous talk, it can have all sorts of problems with us. So that is the don'ts with diet. But let's talk about some things that you can do every day that can improve your diet, improve your immune system, improve your overall health. So the first thing is increase antioxidant-rich foods. And what that looks like is you want to eat the rainbow. You want to eat as many fruits and vegetables, wide variety of colors that you can. Those foods are high in antioxidants, so that can dampen inflammation. Another thing it can do is increase your genetic expression of antioxidant producing genes. So that's another good thing. You want to eat a wide variety of vegetables. So you don't want to eat just kale every day and just kale. You want to eat all different types of, roots, plants, green leafy veggies. You just don't want to eat the same thing each and every day. Okay? You want to eat organic meats. Try not to eat meats that are not organic, especially right now. You want to eat healthy fats like avocados, salmon, nuts, coconut oil, things like that. Those are good, healthy fats that you can improve your overall health and brain function. Other ideas is try maybe time-restricted eating. Now, it's not for everyone. So if you're hypoglycemic, a time-restricted eating behavior is not maybe optimal for you. But there is a study that just came out not too long ago that talked about if you eat from sunrise to sunset, these people had better genetic expression of anti-cancer genes. They had reduced inflammation and better blood sugar balance. So that's just a thought. Give your gut a break. So if you eat all day long and you eat late into the night, you're not ever really giving your gut, which is a big organ, you're not ever giving it a break. So you're always using tons of energy to break down food all day long. So give your gut a break. And then spikes in blood sugar, when you eat these high carb, high sugar meals, they really take a toll on your pancreas. Your pancreas is always putting out insulin all day long if you're eating these foods all the time. Another thing would be go for a walk after you eat. Go for a 10, 15, 20 minute walk. I'm not saying run, just go for a walk. That can kind of dampen that blood sugar spike that you get after you eat any of these meals. And then lastly, I'm going to talk a little bit about immune boosting nutrients. I'm just going to talk about 3 because I don't want to take away from Dr. Pendleton, who's coming up. He's going to talk more about that and more about different aspects of diet on Thursday. But I want to talk about my favorite 3 nutrients. Magnesium is one of my favorites, immune boosting nutrients. The World Health Organization states that approximately 75% of all Americans do not get the recommended daily amount of 400 milligrams per day. And that's pretty sad because magnesium is responsible for almost making all proteins in your body, and it's also responsible for making ATP, which is the energy source that your body uses to stay alive. So this very important mineral that most people don't get helps us with our energy and our immune function. And it's really high in green leafy veggies. And the next one would be vitamin C. Vitamin C is a strong antioxidant. It produces collagen, which is with all over your body. It's really great for blood vessel health and immune function. And the cool thing about being in New Mexico in vitamin C is it's very high in green chili peppers. So if you're a green chili pepper lover, then that's awesome. I eat raw peppers every single day. I'm addicted. It's also high in things like kale and thyme. And then lastly, zinc is another one of my favorites. It's interesting thing about zinc is it's actually 5 times more absorbable when you eat it with meats. Okay, so zinc is another powerful antioxidant, but it's also a blood sugar regulator, and it boosts your immune system. And it's very high in foods like oysters, red meats, and dark chickens, things like that. And lastly, before I finish today, is read food labels. A lot of people don't read food labels very well, and look for those sinister things that are in food labels. Just because it says sugar-free doesn't mean that there's not sugar in the product. you really have to go and read the label and make sure, especially when you see it, no sugar, but the carbs content is very high. Remember, carbs, especially if they're processed, they break down into sugar very quickly. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. This book right here, Why Isn't My Brain Working, by Dr. Latis Karazian. It's a great resource. It's something that I use today on this talk. It's very easy to read, and it's helpful for anyone out there that wants to improve their health. So that's it for today. Dr. Pendleton's going to talk more about diet on Thursday, and stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks.